2 ravioli, 1 tagliatelle, 2 pigeon, 1 bass, 1 sweetbread. Not so much in the centre. Get the ratatouille on quickly. Don't wait for me, darling, don't wait for me. Taste, taste, taste.
Marco Pierre White finds it hard to keep out of the headlines. He's 27, half Italian, half Yorkshire. His talent, his volatile temperament, and his phenomenal energy have combined to produce a controversial star in the world of cooking. To get where he is today, Marco had to cook his way through the kitchens of the best chefs in the country. In this series, he invites 4 of those chefs back to his own restaurant, Harvey's, here in Wandsworth. Today, he welcomes Raymond Blanc of Le Manoir aux Quatre Saisons in Oxford.
And however controversial he may be, I think he's a damn good chef, and he has, underneath, a pretty good heart.
For Raymond, I'm going to give him a fondant of leeks and lobster, and that's with the water vinaigrette. And then he's going to have the pig's trotter, Pierre Kaufmann. And then for pudding, he's going to have the Fiontine of pear and honey.
The starter for Raymond is a fondant of leeks and lobster. It's lots and lots of leeks, which have all got to be trimmed, and then the lobster tails and lobster's claws have got to be cooked in a court bouillon, and then they're all assembled in a terrine, and they're pressed for about 2 hours, 2.5 hours, and that's served with the water vinaigrette. Looks like some sort of Italian floor when it's actually finished. It's like a tremendous mosaic of green and reds and pinks and whites. Then that's garnished at the end with caviar or truffles. And now they've been poaching in the corbillon for 3 minutes.
Amazing how little time things do need to cook.
Well, most people overcook things. So I suppose that's why people are amazed by how short a time they require. So for one terrine we have approximately 5 pounds of trimmed leeks, and they're going to be poached for about 10-15 minutes, depending. And then we drain them, but we don't refresh them, and they're put into the terrine hot, layered with lobster, seasoned, and then pressed.
That's wonderful.
As you can see, it's quite remarkable when you think, go back an hour and a half ago, that large box of leeks, all those lobsters in their shells. If I'd have said to you, I can fit all this inside this terrine, you'd never believe me. Now, the main reason, I suppose, why I've chosen this leeks, one, because Raymond likes leeks. Secondly, he likes things which are incredibly clean, incredibly fresh. And with the leeks and the lobster, that is incredibly clean and very fresh. And it's very simple, it's not heavy. Terrine of leek, and lobster with caviar and water vinaigrette. Simon, straighten up that terrine. Straighten the terrine up. Yes. With a knife. Let's go 2 bass. Non-stick on for the foie gras. One ravioli and ravioli and ravioli for the next table. So by the time we send it's only 2 minutes. Right, come on, let's go then, let's go. Very hot. Doesn't anyone want to help me? No? You've all got better things to do? Well...
The personal cost, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, no social life, no real time to yourself, missing out on a lot of the things I could have done like a lot of young boys. I haven't been to France yet. I haven't done anything apart from cook for the last 10 years.
I think it is my favourite dish of all time. I just love the pig's trotter. I think it's the cleverest dish I've ever seen. And so I choose that for Raymond because Raymond loves concepts. He loves simplicity, but at the same time, it's got to be complicated. First stage, apart from soaking the trotters in the preparation, is actually to singe them, to remove all the little hairs. And then what we do is just, you can see, just scrape them off.
Funny how dishes develop, isn't it? You saw that first at Pierre Kaufmann's.
That's right. I'm sure he got the idea from somewhere else. Pierre stuffs it with chicken and with sweetbreads. I just stuff it with the sweetbreads. So now I'm going to burn them out. So first, get the sinew, push your knife under, out. You've got to be incredibly careful not to actually put the knife through the skin, otherwise, during cooking, what happens is the skin just sort of opens. So you pull back. So we've got to there now, so if you look, there's your trotter, you just loosen it there and there, cut down the back, and you rip it over. Twist. Now the trotters have been singed, they've been boned, they're ready for cooking. So we have our mirepoix here, which is carrots, onions and celery, our white wine, our stock, bay leaf and thyme. So now our trotters have been cooking for 3 hours. As you can see, they've cooked and they've caramelised. And after 3 hours, they're very sort of tender, and they're golden brown like oak. They are delicious. Here we have the basic ingredients for the filling for our trotter. We have the veal sweetbreads which have been trimmed, the membranes being removed by using the word trimmed, and they've been cut into cubes, not too small. Nice sized mouthfuls. We've got the onions and we've got the morels. All these are going to be roasted together in a little arachido oil, which is fairly neutral. Roasted until they're nice and golden brown. Then they'll be drained, the fat will be removed, they'll be left to cool. When they're cooled, then we bind with a chicken quenelle, which a chicken quenelle is basically a mousseline, but slightly heavier. And you just put enough of the mixture together, just to hold it together. You don't want masses mousse, you just want basically the sweetbreads, the onions and the morels.
Raymond's a man who likes tastes and textures.
He's going to have textures and tastes in this meal. It's one of those, as I said, I've said many times, and I've said to many people, not just yourselves, that this is the most amazing main course I've ever seen in my life. And that's why I have it on my menu, and it says just simply, baked pig's trotter, Pierre Kaufmann, because it's his dish, and why should I pretend that it's mine? It's a great dish. And so I'm going to give it to a great man. We put these into the fridge and leave them to set for an hour or two, or a day, doesn't really matter.
And then we poach them in boiling water 10 to 12 minutes, depending on the size of the trotter. To be a good chef, all you've got to do is lots of little things well. And that is a great philosophy. And so all those little things in making this sauce are roasting your chicken pieces off beautifully until they're nice and golden, adding your mushrooms and your shallots until they've caramelized as well, deglassing with your vinegar until all the acidity has been removed by reduction, and that natural sweetness of the vinegar has come through, deglassing with the cognac, the same process again, and then finally adding your Madeira and reducing down. And then you had your veal stock and your chicken stock and your morels, and cook for 20 minutes. And then it must be passed several times through a muslin to remove all those solids which kill the freshness. If you remove the solids when you're reducing your sauce, you're retaining freshness. If you don't remove those solids, then it kills your sauce. How long for the pig trotter, Simon?
3.5 minutes.
Taste. Touch of pepper. That's right. Pepper. Always learn to taste with your fingers, sir. And to use your fingers. They're the most important things you've got. No fingers, no food. Perfection. There's our little pig's trotter. So. And then the final part is spoon. Always learn how to have confidence in your fingers. And there's our little pig's trotter. And that's, thank you very much, Pierre Kaufman. Stephen? Adam? You can see they don't have staff meals, can't you?
This is breakfast, lunch and dinner.
It's nice, but it is.
That's it now.
Well done, boys.
Lovely.
And when you've done that, you can clean down the table and we'll get ready for mise en place. At this moment in time, I haven't found myself as a cook. I'm still sort of in the middle of a revolution with myself. I don't know what my ideas of cooking are. Every so often I make a new dish and I think, that's me. I don't know what my abilities are yet, and that's what I'm still trying to understand is myself. My link with Italy is my dream. That is the only place in my life where I was a very happy boy. And if I can get out of the profession in 10 years' time, because that's where my next goal is to be in Italy in 10 years' time, not in Los Angeles, in Italy, then I'll go there. That's where I want to go now, because that's where I had happiness as a child. And that's the only place on this earth I've ever really had 100% happiness. Maybe it's all a dream. Who knows?
What are you going to serve him for pudding?
Pears, roasted pears with honey ice cream. It's a very simple dish. It's very light as well at the end of the meal. And it's got lots of different textures. So now what we do next is we actually poach the pears in a syrup of, which is 2 to 1 of sugar and water. And it's flavoured with little lemon juice and a little vanilla pod.
And they'll poach for how long?
They'll poach for approximately 8 minutes. You can't really time them. I mean, you've got to test them with a knife. But next, what we must do is actually make the little basket which the vanilla ice cream sits in. And so we have like a little almond paste here.
How is that made?
Flour, glucose, eggs, and sugar, which is mixed together. And then what we do is we actually just take a little bit. We make a ball.
make a ball.
And that's exactly the same mix as the petit four tuiles.
It is one of them, yeah.
They're good fun to make, actually, the tuile, aren't they?
Well, they are nice, but I don't like sticky fingers. I can't stand sticky fingers. I think that's why I would have never been a pastry chef. And you just press down, and they'll be cooked in the oven. And as you'll see during the cooking process, they'll actually spread, and then we cut them out with our cutter. So there they are. What we'll do is let them just cool a little bit, put the cutter on them, cut them out, and then we'll take them off and sit them inside the little mould. The making of the honey ice cream is very simple. It's a classical crème anglaise, which is, or English custard, which is egg yolks, milk and sugar. So when your crème anglaise is made, you pass into another bowl and left to cool. That is when you put your honey in. When it's still hot, then you leave it to cool. Nice big slices so they look like lilies. Pads, that is. Now what we do is we dust them fairly heavily with caster sugar, then we glaze them with the blowtorch. It gives it that toffee apple effect.
Well, Marco?
We don't do this at the end, chef.
At the end, we do it at the start. Cheers.
Cheers.
Monsieur Blanc, the fondant of leeks and lobster.
Well, visually, I know that it would look stunning. Just annoy you a little bit. That looks beautiful.
Fondant
And I'm sure
leeks and lobster.
Beautiful. It's great.
Well, bon appetit, chef.
Merci, Marco. I'm glad, Marco, you didn't use some great big Welsh leeks, and they are delicious. It's so the flavors are very, very clear, very delicate. And the mix of textures between the lobster and the leek is absolutely stunning. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, lovely dish, lovely conception. The marriage of the sea and the earth and moving into this lovely sharp taste of the pepper.
I can assure you my life.
You know, it's life, it's
I can
adventure.
assure you my life has
Yeah.
got many textures, and it's not the sea, and it's not the earth. I mean, but there's many textures to my life.
I think, to me, I don't know how you feel about cooking, but it's giving really, it's of course a great pleasure of cooking these wonderful ingredients, then giving them to your guests and for them to share this wonderful, fortunate.
That's an idealistic
thing. But
view, chef. I mean, at
as
the
well,
end of
Marco,
the day, at the end of the day, how many of our customers understand and appreciate what we do for them? Okay, you can be kind to the camera, chef, but
No.
I think we're lucky we've got 5%. At the end of the day, I mean, they don't really understand what it's all about. They think it's just so glamorous because what appears in front of them is very nice, but it's not glamorous.
but
It's dirty, it's
maybe
sweaty.
I expressed my point badly, Marco. Success has got a price. Personally, I know
A very large
have
price.
paid a price. I have paid a price where basically my family life has been pretty much destroyed and so on, went through a divorce and I think maybe it doesn't need to have this price. And maybe a young chap, you just got married, you got apparently your wife is pregnant, is beautiful. So I'm just telling you one single little message. Love what you're doing, but somehow be able to share it sometimes with her. And
I try
I
very
think
hard.
it's
I mean,
possible.
they always feel second to your work. And at the end of the day, they don't understand that it is your work that pays the mortgage, pays the bills, pays for those little luxuries in life.
No, maybe.
And it's very hard for them to ever understand unless they've actually worked in the kitchen and been obsessed with food like we are.
Well, look, Marco, I think for the guy who has the reputation of not to eat at all, I think I'm not doing too bad. It's delicious. It's a lovely, well-balanced dish. Very well-balanced.
Thank you, chef.
You see, Marco, maybe we should all learn something out of this dish, that basically the marriage of poverty and richness does work. For example, the leek, which is called the asparagus of the poor, and the lobster, basically the thing of the rich, works together. And the textures and the flavors, everything found.
I'll agree with you there, because I came from poverty and now I live a rich lifestyle.
Well done, congratulations.
Monsieur Blanc, the baked pig trotter Pierre Kaufmann.
It's big indeed. It's lovely.
This is my favourite dish of all time, the pig's trotter. I mean, you know, if I had to have one main course before I died tomorrow,
Yeah.
it would be pig's trotter. It really would.
I think, I don't think of dying yet, but
Well, I think about it
you see,
every day.
you know my philosophy about cuisine. I like textures and different tastes. What I would
Yeah.
find maybe slightly difficult about this dish is that it's a very rich dish.
Yeah.
Okay, it's delicious, but it's very rich. I see you put those lovely little shallots with it, will give that kind of freshness and different texture.
You know, there's nothing wrong in taking someone's dish if you do the dish the way they taught you how to do it. And then you put their name on the menu, like this
Yeah.
on my menu says baked pig's trotter Pierre Kaufmann.
That's right. That's
And
nice.
this, you know, this is a compliment to Pierre. But at the end of the day, you can't reinvent the wheel.
No.
The wheel has been invented, and all we can do is put our own hallmark on it now.
Well, Marco, to the pig.
You calling me a pig again, Chef? You're still throwing compliments my way.
Not necessary.
Monsieur Blanc, the roast pear with an ice cream.
Well, that looks absolutely stunning, Marco. It's beautiful, those lovely slices of pears. I think I'll go for the pear. Well, when you've tasted, you want more out of it. So it's a good sign. It's delicious. I felt that you have grown up a lot. As you know, before, you had always this gift to throw things on the plate and they would always look marvelous, okay? That's one gift. That's a cosmetic of food. But what was your slight problem was the taste. And I think by the meal I had today, I must say it was absolutely stunning in every way. I think now you don't lie, because to me, food is a lie if it is presented in such an attractive way. The package is so tempting and so beautifully, cosmetically so stunning. But then after the taste is missing. Somehow there's something missing.
It's that little something which you can't write into a cookery book.
No, you simply can't.
It's that inner feeling which comes from within, and that understanding of what you're working with. And I'd never been shown this before, and so therefore, when you used to bang on at me, I suppose I was incredibly ignorant about it all. I used to think, what's this Wally going on about? Because I did think you were a Wally. When you were talking about this, and one day it clicked on a Sunday lunch, and you said, that's right, Marco.
For the first time ever, I think England will pride itself to have the very best young chef. Just the same level as French chefs, you know, no bad feeling about it, no complex about it, and that is wonderful. That is 3-star material. That means that England can be proud of, and it's rather wonderful to see that. It's the first time in history, really, that an English chef, if you have the discipline, you will go all the way. Okay, Marco. To good food, to the pleasures of the table, to friendship and your success.
Thanks, Chef.
30 seconds, 10 seconds. Dress in 10 seconds. Simon, start to unwrap the bat. You know you try every night.